Hello my dazzling beauties, welcome back to my channel. So I already primed my eyes with this Smashbox 24-hour primer. I really love this primer. It really helps me keep my shadow in place. Now with the Morphe 35R palette, I'm gonna go ahead and grab the lightest shade. It's the matte shade, and I'm gonna use that shade to set down the primer because it is very sticky, so that way, you know, blending and everything else becomes easier. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the transition shade, which is that light brown slash mustard color. The brush that I'm using for that is the blending brush M502. You're gonna see that I use this brush a lot. I really like it to blend out everything. You know, if I need to blend anything, I really love this brush. If you see me talking, it's because I think I was at the phone with my sister at that moment. I don't know what we're talking about, but yeah. So we're gonna speed things a little bit here. Now I'm gonna go with a slightly darker shadow, which is that one. It looks darker in the pan, but once I started blending it out, it seemed about the same to me. It's just a little bit darker. Either way, it turned out to be perfect for this eye look. Everything came out really good. And the brush that I'm using is the Morphe M433. And I'm just mainly focusing this on the crease and a little bit on the outer corner, you know, just slightly under the other color that we used before. I mean, you just gotta blend until, you know, you get the desired amount. I really packed it on, and then I decided that I needed something darker. Oh no, wait, I went back into the transition shade just to blend out the previous color. And I did put I tried to put the names of the brushes as much as I could, but don't think that I'm grabbing a different one every time. I mean, this is the brush that I'm going to be using a lot, mostly if I want to blend anything, and you know, you gotta get rid of those harsh lines. Okay, and then I grabbed the E22, which is a blending brush, but it's more dense, you know, it's not as fluffy as the other one, and I went with that darker color. Okay, and as you can see, I'm focusing that color mainly in the outer corner, and then once I have most of the pigment on the outer corner, I drag it up to the crease. Okay, and that's gonna bring depth to the crease. Okay, now going back to that transition shade, you know, to blend out the harsh lines. You know, everything has to look seamless. You know, you gotta make sure that you don't see where the first color starts or ends and when you put the next color. Okay, now for the all over shadow, the all over lid shadow, I'm using it's like a light copper with a little bit of like gold reflection. I don't know, it's not too coppery, but it's not too gold. It's just that perfect in the middle shade. And for that, I'm using it's a concealer brush, and it's the Morphe MB10. Okay, and I got this one on my monthly subscription, which is the Life Glam, which is it's pretty much the Morphe brushes, but it's powered by Life Glam. I don't really know because they help them mellow out the brushes. But anyways, you just gotta build depending on how intense you want the shade to be. Also, you saw that I sprayed it with that is the Milani setting spray. I really love that setting spray. If you haven't tried it, you need to. It's really, really good. And then this is supposed to be a lip brush, but I really like that it's tiny and it's synthetic, so that way, you know, it's gonna apply the shimmery shadows pretty good. And this is the lightest shimmery shadow that it's in the palette. I think that's the only kind of white shadow. They do have another one, but it's a little bit more champagne-y. I don't know, I just wanted to use that one, I guess. And you see whenever you spray the shimmery shadows with Fix Plus, or in this case that setting spray, the Milani one, it's gonna make it more intense. You know, it's gonna make it pop more. The next shadow that I'm gonna pick is a satin color. It's more of a burgundy kind of slash plummy, and I'm using the E22 again. And so I'm focusing that one on the outer corner and just slightly dragging it to the crease, but I'm just gonna build most of it there. That way I can just have like the darker part there. You know, it's funny, when I started doing this tutorial, I was like, I want to do something, you know, kind of natural. I don't want to do something dramatic or anything like that. And it's not dramatic, but when I start putting darker colors in the outer corner, yeah, it's turning a little bit dramatic for me. And so I was like, oh god. I mean, I loved it. At the end, I loved it, but it's just funny that I sat down thinking of, like, you know, something for the day that I can wear throughout the day. And, you know, but it was nice. I liked it. And then as you can see, I went back again with the transition shade. So just make sure that you blend everything away. And then a little bit of the light, the shadow that I used to set the primer. That way I can go ahead and blend out between the brow bone and the transition shade. I always like to do that. I like that. That brings, you know, a lighter colors to the brow bone. Okay, and whenever you're blending, you sometimes take away most of that, you know, intensity of the lid shadow. So I'm going back in and applying a little more of the coppery shadow. That way I can intensify it. And I'm also blending in the inner corner highlight. As you can see, you know, it looks pretty harsh right now, but I knew that I was gonna go back in and blend it in, you know, just intensify it. And once you're happy with how it looks, you know, if you think that you're done blending and everything looks nice, go ahead and wipe the fallout, because I mean, I did get a little bit of fallout, and that's a good thing about doing your eye makeup first. A lot of people, I mean, if you're working with dark colors, I would recommend you to go ahead and do your eyes before your face. But yeah, so now I'm going in with this Cella pencil. I got it in one of my iPSY bags. I really like this one. I think this is about like the second time that I use it. I'm not, you know, when I do my eyebrows and stuff, I don't really go back into the whole highlight and everything, but for some reason I just was trying to do the whole thing, the whole glam that day, so I went ahead and used it. And let me tell you, I think I am going to start using it more often, because I really like how it brightened my brows. I loved it, and it was actually the perfect base for the brow highlight. Okay, so now I'm going into the palette again, and I'm gonna go ahead and work on the bottom lash line, and, you know, just finish the eye look before we move forward with the blush and everything else. I was looking for that little pencil, and that was the lip pencil that I was using, the M170-2. Like I said, it's a lip pencil, but it turned out to be the perfect size for the inner corner. And I'm just gonna go ahead and intensify the highlight there, and then I'm gonna bring it around to the bottom inner corner. Yeah, to the bottom part. You can do it, you can make it as bright as you want. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pop it on the brow bone as well. Just blend it. Very good. I kind of feel weird that it was such a tiny pencil for the brow bone, but it helps you, you know, do detail work. You know, it helps you place exactly where you want it to be. Okay, now with the liner brush, I'm gonna go in with, it's not transition shade, it's the one after that, after the transition shade, like the slightly darker one. And I'm using the liner brush M432, and I'm just gonna go ahead and run that one along all of my I'm gonna put that shadow all over my bottom lash line, okay, and just work it as dark as you want it to be, but I am gonna be adding a darker color that way I can connect the outer corner, which is gonna be the satin one. And for this one I'm using a smudge pencil, and that's gonna be the E18. That's part of the Elite collection. You know, it's tiny, it is really soft. I will really recommend you don't want to poke your eye out. This one will not do that. It's really soft, and it's just densely enough to be able to smudge it out. Okay, now I'm gonna put the Nars Longwear eyeliner on my upper waterline, which is, you know, I'm gonna tightline. That's what we will call it. If you're not familiar with the term, it's just putting the black eyeliner on top of your top waterline, and this will help you to make your lashes look fuller. Okay, and it is really good, especially when you're applying false lashes. I know that probably most of you know this, but if you don't, it helps you, you know, blend your lashes with the false lashes. That way, you know, you don't have like a white space down there. Okay, now for my top and bottom lashes, I'm gonna be using the Supersizer mascara. I prefer this mascara for my bottom lashes. The brush is like really tiny. You hardly even see that it has the bristles. You hardly even see the bristles. But it really, I love how it makes my bottom lashes look like it really stretched them out. I mean, I do have long lashes, but this one, it really stretched them out, and so I just go ahead and use this one. Okay, now for bronzer and highlight and blush, I'm gonna be using one of my favorite palettes, which is the BECCA palette in collaboration with Chrissy Teigen. I really love this palette, not only because the packaging is amazing, you know, rose gold and everything. It turned out to be a really good palette for me, you know, the colors and everything, and it's perfect if you're traveling. You don't have to pack a highlighter, a blush, a bronzer, you know, you have that in one palette. It's really pretty, and the bronzer turned out to be really good for me. Okay, now we're going with that blush. It looks pretty bright. It looks a little bit intimidating, but you know, just build it up. That's what I did. I started with a little bit because it is very pigmented, but I did pack it on later on. But then what I've noticed with me is that usually it will look really bright, but once I put on the setting spray, you know, and everything, once it actually sinks into my skin, sometimes it'll disappear. So that's why I like to go a little heavy-handed with it. Okay, now the highlight brush, I'm using the M501, and I also got that one on my monthly subscription. If you want to sign up for that monthly subscription, I will have the link on the information box down below. Okay guys, don't forget to follow me on my Snapchat. I do try to do sneak peeks and things like that on my Snapchat, so if you're not following me, you should. Okay, look at that highlight. It's not a blinding highlight. I mean, if you want like a Baba Boom highlight, this is not the highlight for you, but maybe if you spray it with makeup setting spray or Fix Plus, whatever you use, maybe it'll make it, you know, as blinding as you like it. But since I felt that the eyes were a little bit dramatic enough, I just went ahead and got a little bit of a subtle highlight. But I think the camera's not picking up very well, because I do remember that it was pretty, you know, pretty blinding. Not as blinding as another one, different highlights. For example, the Kathleen Lights and Morphe, the highlighting palette, that is a really good palette. I mean, if I really want to blind someone, I usually go for that one. And of course, Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop. But yeah, I love this one. Very good for everyday highlight, you know, where you don't want to walk on and people be like oh, this girl is wearing the Christmas lights on her face or something. But then again, you know, who cares? People will talk. Might as well give them a reason to, huh? Right? Okay, don't forget that nose. And then my camera had stopped recording, and I just went ahead and started recording again. So the Cupid's bow. I really like how it makes my Cupid's bow look. Okay. And so for the highlights, pretty much. Oh no, wait, yeah, don't forget your chin. It depends, it's up to you. You don't have to do the chin, but I really like the chin. Okay, and now let's drench into the Morphe setting spray. You know, between the Morphe and the Milani setting spray, those two are really good. You know, the Milani you can find in the drugstore. You know, it's easy to get a hold of it, and it's actually cheaper than the Morphe. But either way, both of them are really good. And then this is the Boxycharm liquid lipstick in the VS Dolly. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Please let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.